Where did my money go? Totally broke at the end of the month, wondering where your money went. All right, we're going to get into this one, but before we do, I'd like to ask you, if you find my content valuable, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. All right, where did my money go? Many find themselves broke and wondering where all of the money went by the end of the month. This is a common problem, but a problem that you do not want to continue to be in. If you're at that point to where you're wondering where all of your money went. In fact, in the thumbnail, I have my wallet open, completely empty, with that look, where is my money? Where did it go? Okay? And there's a lot of Americans frustrated. And in fact, 60% of Americans do not have a plan for their money. That word that's dreaded by some, budget. But what a budget really is a plan. There's also that statistic that about 11 million Americans do not monitor their overall spending. So we have two problems that we should be addressing. One, monitoring our money, and managing our money. Now let's go in and kind of define, because I want to keep this a short video, a simple video, and I'm also going to give a little bonus of something I use to kind of organize things to help you. So stick around for that. But I want to keep this one simple, quick, and concise, because I want two things for you. One, I want this to be simple for you. But two, I want it to be free, okay? I don't want you spending money. Because the bottom line, at least at this channel, is I want you to have progress and move forward. I am not trying to get you to spend money on anything. What I'm trying to get you to do is to actually move forward with your financial situation. So, okay, let's talk about monitoring, okay, and managing your money. Monitoring your money speaks to looking at what you're doing with every dollar of your money, okay? Monitoring can be very, very simple. Just get a sheet of paper. You don't need to spend any money. Get out a sheet of paper and commit to starting maybe today, or if it's later in the day, start the next day and start to monitor every single time you spend money. If you go out and get a stick of gum, write that down. Have a total for that. If you go out for dinner, anything that you're spending on, go ahead and monitor that on a piece of paper. Now, why do you want to do that? It's kind of like when you go to the doctor, they give you a physical, and they give you all these things. They take blood work, they listen to your breathing, they take your blood pressure. All of these things are to get some data so that they can look at and hone in on any problems that you may have before they have a prescription for you or a plan to follow to gain more health. The same thing, you want to be healthier financially, but to do so, you want to be monitoring and actually looking at what you're spending right now. So that's monitoring. And then you want to manage. You want to actually have a budget for your money. You want to tell your money what to do instead of wondering where it went, okay? Now, how do you do this? What I would say the most inexpensive way and the simplest way to go about this is to paper pencil. Actually getting a notebook or something like that and paper, and actually, one, monitoring, like I said, writing down whatever it is that you're spending on a regular basis. But the other thing that you can do is actually write down what you have coming in. Like I said in my last video, a lot of people don't even know what it is that they have coming in. So know down to the penny what your take-home pay is, whether you're working salary or hourly. What do you actually bring home? What is the money that you actually can spend? Know what that is down to the penny. And then you also want to know down to the penny what it is that you're spending. And you do that by writing down every single one of your bills. First, you want to write down what you're bringing in at the top of the paper. And then you want to list all of your bills, every single one of your bills, and then get a total of that. So you have a total of your income and a total of your expenses. You want all sorts of bills, your electric bill, your mortgage, what you're spending on food, every single thing. Write all of those things down, have a total for that and a total for your income. Now what you want to do is take the total of your take-home income minus what all of your expenses are. So you're going to have a total for your income and a total for your expenses, and subtract your expenses from your income. Now you're going to have one of three outcomes when you do that. You're either going to have a surplus, meaning you're making more than what you're spending. You're going to kind of break even. That's what they call paycheck to paycheck. You're basically breaking even. Or you're going to have a deficit. You're spending more than what you're taking in, okay? So now at least you have an accounting of what's going on. Then you want to go in there and actually do something about where you're at, okay? Particularly if you're spending more than what you're actually making, okay? Now I'm going to give you that tip that I used, okay? I used what's called KFC. I came up with KFC in college, and it's not Kentucky Fried Chicken. What it is a way to look at all of those bills that you've written down, okay? And you put them in the category K, F, or C. Now you have all the bills written down, but at the top of the page, right up there K, and put an F and a C, okay? Now K stands for bills that you keep, okay? Like your mortgage may be a bill that you're definitely going to keep, okay? And then F are bills that you're going to fix or adjust, and you're going to adjust those downward, okay? One example of a bill that you're going to keep and fix might be your phone bill, okay? So at the top, you have that KFC where your phone bill is written down. You'll put a little check by keep, and also a check at F for fix, because you're going to hopefully adjust that downward. I use Mint Mobile, which is a budget kind of phone plan. So you want to look at that. If you have a high-end plan, maybe adjust downward to a budget plan like Mint Mobile, okay? Now that's KF. Now C are bills that you're going to cut, okay? Like maybe credit card, you need to cut that. Or streaming service, you need to cut and get rid of. And a credit card, by the way, may also be something that you fix. Maybe you're going to surf balances over to a card that has 0% interest for a year or so. So that KFC is a way to organize those bills and to create some margin in your budget. But again, you've got to get to the point to where you're monitoring and managing your money, and do it the simple way. I'm always concerned about that because I do not want you to get in a position to where you're going backwards, where you're being sold a whole bunch of stuff, because there are programs out there, and many of them will have like a free level, and that's fine. But at this time, particularly if you're struggling, I don't want you to be spending extra money on things. Don't spend extra money. Go simple. I think about the Democratic strategist, I think his last name is Carville. When he was talking about politicians, he was like, he came up with a simple phrase, it's the economy, stupid. You know, so it's like that. There's also that acronym KISS, keep it simple, silly, or keep it simple, stupid. So you want to keep it simple, again, and you want to keep it very inexpensive, and I say free. Get out that paper pencil, write everything down, start monitoring your finances, writing down everything that you're spending, and then write down all of your bills, everything that you've got, and maybe utilize that KFC that I was talking about. Create some margin in your budget, and that way you keep rolling forward and actually having control of your finances. This is kind of step one. I hope that this video overall helps. Keep it simple, keep it free, monitor and manage your money. Now, if you find my content valuable, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. Thanks again for listening. Let's get in control of our money in this year. Thanks.